Page 58, exercise 2.3. On the previous page, they talked a little more about major and minor scales. So just briefly, we already know what a whole step and a half step is. And now we're going to use them because this is one of the reasons they're important. There is a set pattern for major scales and then another pattern for minor scales. As long as you follow that pattern, you're guaranteed to get a major or minor scale, whatever. And that is a set number of whole steps and half steps, a certain pattern. So I'm going to go back to C major because it uses the white keys and it's easier to see. We have a whole step, half step, then a whole step, half step. And that's the pattern for any major scale. Whole step, half step, whole step, half step. If you follow that pattern, you can start on any key, white or black on the keyboard, and you will get a major scale. You may not know what it is, but you will get a major scale. For instance, just kicks and giggles, let's start here. So I'm going to do 2 whole steps and a half steps, and then 3 whole steps and a half steps. So we go whole step, half step, whole step, half step. It's a major scale. Minor scales are similar. The whole step and half step is slightly off. For a minor scale, I'm going to use A minor because A minor has no sharps or flats. It's the relative minor to C major because it's related. It has the same key signature. So here. So we have a whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. So it's a whole, half, whole, half, whole. Ugh. But that's the pattern for minor scales. You use that and you will get a natural minor scale. There are different kinds of minors. This natural minor. That's what they're talking about them for. For this exercise, they're not really throwing anything new at you. However, they're introducing voices. And they're not talking about voices, but we have a way in music notation of indicating voices, and it can make a difference in how we play it. So, on top of everything else you're trying to struggle with, now we get to deal with voices. Because they did. I mean, they did it. I didn't. I'm just going along for the ride here. Let's start with the right hand. Let's just talk about this piece. Right hand only to start with. This is in the key of A minor. No sharps or flats. It's a relative minor to C major. So we're here to start with. G sharp. Now 3/4 time. You go 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and it's not too bad. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 1. Just follow their fingering. Now 3rd finger on the quarter note B. And then 8th notes. Reach down to the E and then here. So you're moving around a little bit. Now, second line, second measure. On that half note A, I recommend a thumb because the next note is an E. And if you put a thumb on the A, it makes it easier to reach the E. So the first measure, the second line is here. Then just stick the thumb under. Here. Then you're in position for the E. On 16th notes. Isn't this lovely? They're introducing 16th notes. Gosh, I just love it. Don't tell you what they are, but use them anyway. 16th notes. I'm sure they told you earlier on. And you're supposed to remember it from tonight on. 16th notes. There are 2 16th notes and an 8th note. They're twice as fast. And how you count them is up to you. The idea is count them in such a way that you get 2 16th notes in that 8th note. So if I count 8th notes, 1 and just 3/4 times, so an 8th note gets half a count. 1 and 2 and 3 and. 16th notes is going to be twice as fast, so I do a 1E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 1E and a 2. There are different ways of counting them. This is how I do it. So in that measure with the 16th notes, you have a 1E and a 2E and a, right, 3E, it's a dotted, 3E and those two 16th notes are coming in the same amount of time as an 8th note. Now if it would help you temporarily leave out one of the notes, leave out the second 16th note. Just play the first 16th note and play it as an 8th note. Just to get the rhythm. 1, 2, and 3, and that's the rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. And then when you can get that, put the D in. You got to get this in the same amount of time as the D. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and they're just quick. They just both happen. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 1 and a 2E and a 3. Good luck with that. We'll talk about that some more, but that's basically how it is. So if I do a 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, just know they're quicker. Last line. Don't see anything tricky about the rest of it. You can get the rest of it. Left hand, this is where the voices are coming in. Now, the right hand is a voice. It's the melody. That's the voice we want to hear. But the left hand now is more like two people singing the harmony part. So it's like we got three people singing here. We got here. One person is here, another person is here, and then the top voice is here. So in the left hand, you're here, and then here. Now look out, because the next one is 1, 3. Just come down, it's fine. And then 4, 2. And now look at what's going on. You're going to play the 5. It's a dotted half notes. You're going to hold it down for 3 counts. On top of that, you have a rest. That means the voice, the upper voice in the left hand, is resting for 1 count. And then the upper voice plays the G while you hold the C down. And then the upper voice plays the C. So you got these two voices going on here. It's here. And then the next measure, the bottom voice plays the G. It's a half note. The top voice rests on the first beat and then plays the D. And then while the top voice holds the D down, the bottom voice plays the A. Isn't that fun? Then in the next measure, the A is tied over, so the bottom voice holds that down, the upper voice plays the C. And then the bottom voice plays the E, and the top voice gets to rest. And then the top voice plays the B while you're holding down the E. And then cross the thumb under to get the A. The bottom voice had a rest. Now the bottom voice is going to play while you hold down the A. And then they're back together again. So the idea is, can you hear the voices? So in the left hand, if I play just the bottom voice, it's here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, rest. Rest. 3, 1, 2, 3. It's the bottom voice. And then the top voice does its thing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, rest. Rest. 2, 3, 1, rest. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, rest, rest. 2, 1. So you're working out that voice, because when you play them together, we want to hear both voices. It's like a duet going on together. The voices. In my opinion, that is far too difficult for you to be trying at this level. But the author of this book seems to think it's appropriate, and I'm doing the book as it is, so that's it. Good luck. But that's the idea behind this notation that you're seeing this. It's two voices. The bottom voice stems going down and the top voice stems going up. And it's like a duet. If you have some singers around, have them sing a la, 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 or whatever on these notes, and you can have a trio going. Why not have some fun with it? So then we put the whole thing together, all three voices. Etc., and you get it going. Let's try this really slowly, and I suggest you do it one hand at a time for a while until you can get the idea of what's going on in the left hand. You're holding each note down the correct amount of time, and you're playing all the rest when you're supposed to, and the whole bit. Just keep it really slow. One, and ready, and go, and. And 3 and